Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Jared. No Josh here this week, but that's alright. So, he had some other stuff he had to take care of. If all the Josh Marks can turn this video off, I had to make this video real quick to say Happy Easter to everybody. Hope you had a good one. Hope it was good for you. And just say some thank yous to everybody because I really didn't understand just how big YouTube could be as far as a social media platform. And this channel is still small, but it's grown a lot just in the past couple of days. Ever since the WrestleMania trip, things have been just getting bigger and bigger. If you're watching this video, there's a pretty good chance you already subscribe to Lazybooking. And if you don't, if there's by some chance you just happen to find this video, go check his stuff out. Go check out boxbreak.city. See all the cool stuff he's got going on his website. Pop vinyls, group breaks, box breaks, everything that you could imagine is on there. I was lucky enough to get into one of his group breaks from 2016 WWE Undisputed this past week, and I got some really cool stuff coming, so I won't spoil it now. You can go watch that video and spoil it for yourself if you want to. I never wanted to pull the trigger on buying a box of Undisputed or even a pack, and then, happened to, find his videos, found his website, and, you can go on there and, roll the dice on getting something cool, and I came up pretty good this time around. So I've got that to look forward to, and hopefully more in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. I still got my cuts. I don't have Josh to run the pick for me while I sneak some drinks in, and got flies flying over. I'm in another part of the garage right now, so hopefully this sounds good and doesn't look as bad as I usually do, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out too. So good times. Hope everybody had a good Easter. I'll say it again, and just thanks to everybody that's been watching and subscribing, and guys like Lazybooking that had some really nice things to say. The other night I got home and video had already started of him doing the live box break, and got on and got caught up and just started flipping out when I saw what I got. So I'll definitely want to get in on some more of those in the future, and who knows, maybe some. I'm really looking forward to that WWE Heritage set that's going to be coming out later this year. Might have to spring for a box of those, or 2 or 3. So one of the things that I meant to bring up last week that kind of slipped my mind was, and Don Rickles passed away, and that kind of sucks because he was one of my favorite comedians, one of the insult comment guys that just got it. Some of the stuff that dude got away with saying was just, it's made me admire the guy. And on top of that, it was funny, and that's the most important thing. And I got reminded by him passing away when I got the news that Charlie Murphy passed away earlier this week. That was really a surprise. Maybe he had been sick. Maybe he just one of those private guys that like to keep it to himself and to his family. I just didn't see that one coming. It was one of those kind of celebrity death news headlines that comes out and you're like, is that for real? I don't know if that's legit. And when it starts popping up on more than one website and you're searching it and searching it, it still keeps coming up. You're like, okay, maybe this is legit. And sure enough, it was. So that stunk. But if you listen to the Bill Burr Monday morning podcast, he had some really good stories about him on his show this past week, the Monday of this past week, so check that out. And that was some of the best stuff I heard. I was on his show, just, he actually knew the guy. You could tell he actually knew the guy. and had some stories that he was able to tell that kind of made the situation a little bit lighter, and then verified all the Hollywood stories from Chappelle's show, and even had some stories that Charlie knew that it probably were his stories to tell. So he's like, you know what, that's his. So if somebody wants to come along and tell him, fine, but I'm not going to tell his stories. So that was kind of cool. And then other stuff that's been going on this week. You don't realize how hard this is when I don't have Josh here to bounce stuff off of and kind of just nod, go to for a few minutes. The Southwest Airlines dude, man, that story just blew up, and I just hope that people in other countries don't think that we're all just crazy over here. I don't believe everything that you hear from that story, because I just got that feeling to where when you're told to get off the plane, you have to get off the plane. There's just no negotiating your way out of it. I've been bumped from a flight before, not to that extent where I had to be dragged off kicking and screaming. Basically what happened, a friend of mine got bumped, was pretty much mean I got bumped because I couldn't leave him in Las Vegas by himself. And so who wants to get home to Louisville on a Sunday afternoon? From what I understand, and I don't fact check, it's something we don't do, is the situation was there was a flight overbooked. Why airlines are allowed to do it doesn't make sense to me, but they do it, and it happens more often than not, where some people had to get off the plane, and old buddy's number came up through the little random selector because nobody volunteered to get off, and he was one of 4 seats that said, well, you have to go. And I wish it didn't go down the way it did. When security comes to you and they're standing across the aisle from you, they're like, you have 2 options. The option we hope you choose is you get up and you walk off with us, and you'll be off the plane. You can complain and moan and be all you want to, or we'll drag you off, which is what happened. And from what I understand, old buddy slipped away and got back on the plane somehow or another, and I think he ended up flying home anyway. So it was much ado over nothing. And I think kind of what was going through his head was, if I just get off and walk off the plane, yeah, I'll be inconvenienced, and I might get a free flight or 2, which they'll probably go back on. But if I cause a big enough stink, I think he started seeing dollar signs going through his head. If I cause a big enough stink, if I just make a scene on this plane, I'll get to sue, and I'll go in asking for $10 million, and I'll get the 1.5 that I just really want anyway. And that's what's probably going to go down. And the worst part of the video is the lady that you hear just hollering and carrying on, like, just calm down, lady. That's the type of stuff from those videos just makes my skin crawl. And then to tie it back into, we usually spend most of our time discussing the world of WWE and wrestling stuff with this show, and I think the United Airlines story kind of ties into the Mauro Ranallo bullying story, where it's real easy to discredit somebody with a mental illness like that and not give them their due. Just like, well, so what, he got bullied, why? At the same time, I think maybe he could have helped the situation a lot better by doing what other people have claimed to do when a guy like JBL And I don't know that anybody really knows exactly what went down, or if we ever will. That's, you know, their story to tell if they choose to tell it. But for Mauro Ranallo, so you're bipolar, you have all these disorders. Uh, you're getting bullied like that, just punch somebody in the face, and that will stop it all. And I understand not wanting to do that, feeling that, well, first of all, it's a job that you've been your dream job your whole life, and to do something like that guarantees you won't have it anymore. Well, you've done that anyway by backing out the way you did. So at least you have more. I think you have more of a shot in that business by standing up to somebody and shutting them up and keeping a job than you do by just hoping it stops. It's not going to stop. You just have to make it stop yourself. And that's easy for me to say. Wasn't in the situation, but I don't know exactly what had gone on between the two guys. But I just really think that it's when it all comes out, you're gonna realize it's much ado about nothing. And if you're not happy there, then just quit. But move on to something else. Just good luck to both of you. But I don't think the fire JBL chants are fair. I don't think that's, first of all, it's not going to happen. So why bother? And the Superstar Shake-Up, that video has been done to death. The winners and losers who came out on the long and short end of the stick of that. It's kind of like, man, I don't really know. But we'll see how things turn out, and maybe there's more changes and stuff like that to come. I think it was a little bit of a funny. I think that as far as I'm concerned, the biggest loser so far, what I can tell, is Corey Graves, because Byron Saxton coming over to SmackDown. Byron Saxton and Corey Graves, to me, were so good together. Corey Graves made Byron tolerable, and for them to get a guy like David Otunga, who's not going to be good with anybody regardless of who you put him with, and so that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And more Nats in here. Shane out in the ring. It was his misleading Charlotte intro with the, and we get Tamina Snuka. It's like, well, who cares about that? So, anyway, I think it's about time to wrap this thing up. My whole point of making this video is just to say thank yous to a lot of people. If you're a new subscriber, thank you. And keep on watching. Hopefully we'll have a lot more videos to come in the future. We'll see you guys.